right, this class is how to look like a million without spending it. Wouldn't that be nice? Did you know that the average woman spends $150 to $400 a month on clothing, jewelry, accessories, and makeup? Do you think that's possible? Yes. Absolutely, we know this. Do you know the top 10 reasons a woman goes on a shopping spree? Here it is according to a recent study. And the number one reason, what do you think the number one reason is we go on a shopping spree? Depression, exactly. To cheer ourselves up. 79% said, I want to cheer myself up. Number two is I want to treat others, because we're women, right? We want to bless other people. Number three is I feel I'm looking good, is one of the reasons. And it's like I look good, so I lost weight. I'm going to go down and I'm going to buy a new wardrobe because I did something that makes me feel better. And then we have kind of like a temporary insanity we go through. Have you ever done that? Where you lost weight and then you bought a bunch of stupid, young-looking clothes that didn't really look good on you? Yeah, I've done it. Been there, done that. Number four, I'm feeling a bit low. Okay, so we'll call that light depression, all right? Number five, I'm feeling happy. Number six, I want to impress others. That was 52%. And I think there's probably a higher rate of that than most of us would care to admit. Number seven at 40% was officially I feel depressed. Number eight, things aren't going well with my partner. 34%. Most of my clients are women who are going through difficult marriages or have been through a divorce. And it's very true. That's what the majority. The other ones are the ones that are going to a class reunion in the next year. Or that have a kid getting married. That's pretty common too. Number nine, I feel unattractive. I'm one of those people that shop when I'm feeling unattractive. When I look in the mirror, I think, oh, I'm looking so old. I think I need to do something, and I'll go down and I'll buy makeup. Have you ever gone to the makeup counter and noticed that behind those girls that stand there with everything that they're selling on their face is a mirror right behind them? So you happen to walk past that mirror and you go, and you look at her and you look at you and you go, oh, I look really bad. And you end up buying makeup because you want to look better. Okay, so that would be my I feel unattractive moment. And number 10, at 31% is I'm anxious or I'm worried. And a lot of times shopping for some people is used as something sort of a release. So I thought that was interesting when I was doing research on this. The average person spends 16 minutes a day choosing her clothing and has $500 worth of unworn clothing hanging in her closet. It's true, isn't it? No wonder people like Mark Zuckerberg and Albert Einstein wear the same thing day after day after day, because it simplifies their life. I think Obama's in that category too. Has anybody ever heard of Project 333? Project 333 is a gal who went ahead and started doing a little test on herself, and she decided she was going to wear 33 articles of clothing for 3 months. Very interesting. There's another gal who's done it on a much more minuscule level, Hatmaker. Help me out here, Jen Hatmaker. And she did how many? Does anybody remember? 7 days, the same clothes, right? 7 outfits. 7 pieces of clothing, 7 days. And I truly believe that can be done. I had to pack for an entire week in working out in Colorado, and I was able, and I had to prove it because when I did my book, Out the Door in 15 Minutes, I had a section in there on how to pack for a week in a carry-on. So if you're flying Spirit Airlines, where you practically have to fly naked in order to get the good deal there, you know what I'm talking about, right? Anyway, I had to do it in a week, and it was very possible. In fact, I ended up journaling or writing about it in the book on how to do it. And I was shocked that it could be done. Now today, in all honesty, I brought 3 suitcases. My total weight on suitcases was about 150 pounds. But of course, I had to bring books and all my stuff for my setup and all that. But I'd much rather not try to do it all in an overnight bag, I'll be honest with you. Okay, in 1930, the average woman owned 9 outfits. Today, the average woman owns 30 outfits. Okay, and that's outfits and not necessarily pieces, because a lot of us have lots and lots of pieces in our closet and no outfits, and that's where the problem tends to get rooted. So today I'm going to teach you how to mop up your closet. Okay, so it's M-O-P are the letters that we're working with today, and the M stands for, anybody know? Minimize. Minimize. So our first challenge is going to be that I want you to go to your closet and clean the closet out. And we're going to talk about that in just a minute. But I want you, we're going to talk about how to minimize not only your closet, but your body. Ooh, wouldn't that be nice to know? What can I do so I can look skinny and better? Okay, we all want that. Well, most of us anyway. And our goal on minimizing is going to be to minimize our wardrobe by 20%. Now that seems like a tall task. But before we get into how to do that, let's talk about how to minimize the body. The first thing I want you to think of is the fact, and this is a real quick thing to remember, fit is it. If it fits, it could be it. If it doesn't fit, it's not it. You're going to have to get it fixed. Got that? So let me give you an example. This is Karen, who I've worked with for a long time. This was Karen's before picture, and this was an outfit that she wore. Now the problem is Karen just kind of looked like she was all disheveled, and that was supposed to be the look of the shirt, but along with that and her hair and the pants that were too big, it just didn't quite work. When we got done with her, she went from this to this. Okay, and again, this was a very quick turnover. We just trimmed up her hair, changed her line, but look at how much more sleek and polished and put together and confident she looks in the second picture. Okay, so fit is it. One of the things we do to help stuff fit better, or one of the things you can do to help things look like they fit you better, is first of all, have things altered if necessary. In fact, I'm going to give you a quick demonstration on this because I think sometimes seeing helps you understand and realize where you've made it fallen short. And I need somebody, okay, I need the gal right over here. Smith, is it? Yeah. Can you come up and help me? I need somebody who will fit in my jacket, so I'm going to grab this really quick. And this is a typical jacket that a lot of women have. So if you wouldn't mind, Taylor, can you take your sweater off? Taylor Smith. It's Taylor Swift or Taylor Smith? I'd much rather have Taylor Smith in my group. Okay, I'm going to have you slip this on. Then we're going to pull your hair out of there. Yeah, get comfortable with that. Okay, so now how many of you have a little jacket somewhere in your closet that looks something like this? Raise your hand. Most of us do, right? Now, we've got some problems with this jacket. It's not working for Taylor like it should. So first of all, a lot of those jackets for a while, you button just that top button and it would sit like this. This is one of your least flattering lines. This is called an A line, so it makes everything up here look smaller and everything down here look bigger. Not good. So we're going to change that right now to what we call the magic Y. And the magic Y is where we take and we're going to button the bottom 1 or 2 buttons or however many you need to. Then we're going to open up the collar. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to pop the collar, because when you pop the collar, you elongate your neck, and when you elongate your neck, it makes your whole body look taller and thinner. Okay, so that's the first thing we change that. The next thing is, how many of you have 3/4 sleeves in your closet? Oh, almost everybody. So the problem with 3/4 sleeves is most of us, those do not hit at the right spot. Let's see, so if we take, well, I'll tell you what, let's do one more thing. Before we do that, we're going to take in that jacket. So we're going to do this. And we're going to make that jacket fitter. Can you see the difference that made? Now we see this 3/4 sleeve really still isn't doing much because it's still making this look like a box. So if we just take this and we move it up to here, and we take this and we move it up to here. Now, Taylor, maybe take one step forward so some of the people over here can see. Do you see the difference moving that sleeve up does? Most women, the thinnest part on their body is right underneath their bust line. If you can change the eye to look at the skinny part instead of down here where we're carrying extra weight, boy, does that make a difference. So if you've got a 3/4 sleeve on right now, I want you to push it up to the elbow. Push it. I'm not having anybody walking out of here not looking good. So push that sleeve up to the elbow. Now, I've got some sleeves that are too loose and I can't keep them pushed up there. So what I've done in the past is I've taken a piece of thread and just stitched a really simple stitch up here and ruched it myself and kept it up there. And I usually do just cover my elbow. Because of age, my elbows are starting to droop a little bit, so I just keep it just over the edge of my elbow. But it's amazing what just a few quick alterations can do. So fit is it. Thank you, Taylor. I'll let you take that off. Oh, just a good example. I might have to use you again, so don't go far. You can have a seat down there, but yeah. Okay, so fit is it. The second thing is, I want you to pay attention to stop points on your clothing. Stop points are any horizontal line that makes your eye stop in the outfit. Because sometimes stop points can work well, sometimes not so well. Let me give you an example of that. Okay, so this gal here obviously has the dreaded 3/4 sleeve that has the bell on it, so it's really adding an extra weight. We've got horizontal stop lines here. Can you see those? And then sometimes people will have pants on that have cuffs on it. If you have short legs and you put a cuff on your pants, it takes an extra inch of length off of your legs. Any horizontal line will make you look an inch shorter than you actually are. So I usually have cuffs taken off of my pants. Okay, then the next thing I would do is we need to get rid of some of the stop lines, and actually, again, this sleeve is adding weight here, so that's a stop line. Sometimes if we carry our weight here through the bust area, and you've got something that runs any kind of a horizontal neckline, that's another stop line. It's going to make you stop at that point. So when we got done with her, she went from this to this. Now we've really changed her stop lines, okay? So now what we have is we have long, lean-looking legs. We have no stop lines here except for at the waist, but you're stopped there, but you can't see the width of the waist. And I'm going to show you some other tricks for how to do that. But it changes your overall vision of how much she weighs. I took this strategically, too, so that it was exactly the same height in both pictures. So she didn't lose any weight. These were all done within the same day. All right. So stop points are important. Now, the next thing I want you to remember, hemlines. Let's talk for a minute about hemlines, because everybody's, what's in? It doesn't matter what's in. They're all in. If you go out there, you're going to find mini, midi, and maxi all in the same store. So let me tell you what to be especially careful of. Midi is the hard one to wear. Midi is where it comes right in the middle of your calf. Because if you think about it, when you cover that calf up, you end up looking like you have little tree trunks for legs because there's no shape to them at all, right? So if you start looking at your leg shape, if you go up a little higher just where your knee is at, you'll see the curve of your calf start to go in. And that's what I call your second waistline, is where your knee is at, because your leg comes down and comes in and then it comes out a little bit more. That's an important point in being a shapely woman. I don't care what size you are. I want to see a little bit of that knee area if at all possible. So if you raise your hem either just above the knee or right at the knee, a lot of times that will hit that sweet spot. Okay, if you want to wear long skirts, if you do the maxi, put a pair of boots on with it, and that will balance it out. If your other option is to go with a maxi all the way to the floor, because if it's all the way to the floor, you're going to look a lot longer and a lot leaner. And the longer you can wear that skirt lengthwise, the better it's going to look on you. Now, you remember last night I talked about having big feet and that being a real issue? Well, let me tell you, when you put a skirt on that ends at the ankle, or if I wear ankle pants, I look really like a duck. I mean, I have these big feet sticking out, especially if they're flat-soled shoes, which I wear most of the time. So you've got to kind of watch that. I always tell people, hem your pants as long as you can get them down to the floor without them dragging or cupping too much. When you hem a pair of pants, I do have something up here. So when I hem a pair of pants, it's going to come down like this. I hem my pants like this. So here's my shoe, right? Here's my heel, but it's a little shorter in the front and a little longer in the back. So I hem them at a slight angle. And the other thing I do when I do this is I only have it about 1/4 of an inch off the floor in the back. That's usually the most flattering length. Let's see, I was going to say something else along that line, and it just out of the brain. So we'll keep going. All right, number 3 is I want you to kiss in the danger zones. And kiss, I'm not talking about smoochy face. I'm talking about keep it simple, sister, all right? Danger zones are the areas like where do you carry your weight, or what part of your body doesn't quite work as well for you. An example of a danger zone. Well, first of all, realize the fact that most women are made one of 2 ways. Either we're long-waisted and we have short legs, or we're short-waisted and we have longer legs. Most of us. But then there's that average person that if you measured her from the top of her head to the break of her leg, and from the break of her leg to the floor, those measurements would be equal, all right? But those people, when they gain weight, they gain it proportionately all over their whole entire body. And so they gain it a little faster, it seems like, than most people, because it's even all over. But when they lose weight, they lose it very slowly all over the entire body. But it's not always as noticeable because people don't always pick up on it because they're proportionate. If you are long-waisted with short legs like I am, what you want to do is realize the fact that you're always going to have some kind of a definable waistline, at least until the age of like 55 to 60. Okay, then we start shortening up in that area. But usually you'll have some sort of a definable waistline. But you'll also have what I call a strong thigh. Sounds much better than saddlebags, doesn't it? So you'll have a strong thigh. And when you've got that, then you want to focus more on the waist area and less on the thigh area. So stuff needs to skim past this. You will find very few pants in my closet, jeans, that have whiskering in here. You know what whiskering is, where they do those white lines that's dyed in? That makes them look a lot thicker and a lot bigger. I don't have any big pockets here. In fact, this pair of pants I didn't do it with, but usually what I do is I sew the pockets shut and I cut them out. And that gives my strong thigh more room to move around. This is easy stuff that you can do to make your clothes make you look like a million. All right? Now, my sisters who have short waists and long legs, keep in mind, while you're dealing with a weight issue usually here, the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away, you have gorgeous legs. Show those legs off. Find pants that fit. Like, remember the gal I had on here? Let me go back here just a second. Okay. Where are we at? There. Okay. Beautiful legs, right? Long, slim legs. We put in nice skinny pants to show those off. We put the boots on to kind of extend it a little bit more. Show your legs off because you've got that going on. So always get stuff that really fits well through here. And then you can go with the flowy kind of fun top if you want. Just a good basic rule of thumb. Show off your legs. And sometimes it might be a little slit in your skirt. Modest. I mean, we're Christian women here. We know what our limitations are. And some people say, well, how short? What's safe to go as short? Because now, with us wearing all those little, the shirts with the leggings under them, you kind of get away with going a little bit shorter. My rule for most people is usually fingertip. Okay, so usually if I'm wearing a dress with a pair of leggings that are darker leggings, I'll usually say, okay, it's got to be at least to the fingertips. And then if you have short arms, that doesn't work. So yeah, you got to be careful of that. Okay, so basically the rule on this though is the clothing needs to skim your body. Okay, so by skim I mean, okay, so if I button my coat up, I can still take this coat and shift it like this, okay, without it grabbing too much. And yet when I still wear it, it still comes in a little bit on the waist. Now, it doesn't mean you have to button your coat either, because I'll see some really cute jackets on gals, and I'll buy them one size smaller as long as they're keeping it open, and I see a little bit of a waistline going on here. So that's one area where you can cheat a little bit and go a tiny bit smaller than what you might normally wear. All right, number 4, pleats add pounds, okay? And they're coming back again with a vengeance. You are going to see a lot of pleats out in the stores. Pleats on dresses, pleats on pants, pleats on shirts. Probably the biggest problem we have right now are the pleats that they're doing on the shirts that are just underneath the bust line. Because what does people look like who wear those? Pregnant, exactly. And most women don't realize that it does add some extra pounds in that area. So watch your pleats. They do make you look heavier. Bulky fabric also has the same effect. And we're coming into a season of a lot of bulky fabric for the cool weather, those of us that live in the northern half of this country. And so when you start bulking up with those fuzzy vests and all those fun things that we throw on, you got to be careful that they still have a shape to them. Yours is a great example of something that does, where she's got a very thin, quilted vest on. And it skims along the body. And if you can get those quilted vests to show that you have a waistline, that's good. You can take it one step further by getting a big collar on it. The bigger the collar on your vest or your coat, the smaller everything underneath it tends to look on you. So it's a rule of proportions. When I buy a winter coat for somebody, I usually try to look for a little larger collar on the coat, because then you don't have to worry about, gosh, how does this proportion to my body? If the collar's big, the body looks small. The last thing is pair one fitted piece with one loose piece. If you want to do like that flowy look, you have to have one fitted piece. So if you're, as we were talking about a few minutes ago, wearing the tight pants, then do it with a flowier top, that's fine. But don't do a flowy top with flowy pants, because you're just going to look kind of big is what it comes down to. And if you want to, you can do a very fitted top with those palazzo pants that flow a little bit more, or a fuller skirt, that's fine. But always pair one fitted piece with one loose piece if you're going to do a loose piece. All right, so let's get back to organizing. Let's see here. How many of you have a closet that looks something like this? You're thinking, oh, yeah, you can relate, huh? All right, so this closet, this before picture of this closet, is pretty indicative of what I see oftentimes when I go into women's closets to clean them. And to me, this isn't intimidating at all. This is fun, because I can go in there and we're going to go through everything and clean it up. The key thing on the closet that's interesting to me is I always question, why is it we love what we buy, but we hate 2/3 of what's hanging in our closet? How on earth does this happen? Well, we all have the good, the bad, and the ugly in the closet. What we need to do is figure out how to get this stuff out and thin it down, like we were talking about a few minutes ago. So the first thing is, I want you to set a date on your calendar to do this. You have to concentrate on, I am going to pick a day, and this is all I'm going to do that day is work on my closet. Set a date. Second thing is, you might want to phone a friend or a daughter. Get somebody who's honest and that will help you with it and say, that makes you look like a caboose, honey. That's not going to work for you. You need somebody who will speak the truth in love, right? The next thing is take some time before that date and get the right hangers. Now I use Oftentimes I'll use white plastic hangers, you know, those tube hangers. I like those because it's easy to get the clothes on and off of them, and I always buy white because I was in somebody's closet years ago and I was going through her closet and she had a dark tube hangers like the black ones and the dark green ones, and it had gotten dye on her clothes because of the heat in her closet. So always do white ones. So what you do is if you got a mix of them in your house, you go in everybody else's closet and take the white hangers out and put them in your closet and give them all your stuff. The other hangers I like are the store hangers with the little heads that swivel around because it doesn't matter which way you hang the clothes, you can get them in there the right way. The hangers with the fuzz on them. There are certain, I do a closet personality test with people, and I think it's in my Out the Door in 15 Minutes book. And you take this closet test and it tells you how to set your closet up for your lifestyle. And I do this whenever I do style consultations on people too, because there are some people who need those fuzzy hangers. They have to have their clothes stay and behave themselves. They are not moving, they're not falling off the hanger. Then you got people like me, who those make me absolutely crazy because I can't get them off the hanger fast enough. It's like I have to fight with them. So you have to figure out what hanger works for you. So buy hangers and get some garbage bags. Black garbage bags. Why black? Exactly, so you can carry it out, nobody sees it. All right, now the first thing you're going to do that day is you're going to take everything out of your closet. You're going to clean it, you're going to light it, you're going to do whatever you need to. And as you're pulling those pieces out, you have two questions to ask yourself. Number one, do I like it? Look at that piece and say, do I really like it? The next thing you're going to ask yourself is, do I wear it? And if you wear it a lot and you kind of like it, there might be a reason why you like it. You have to start analyzing. But ultimately what it comes down to is the book about joy. Does it bring you joy to put it on? Life is short. Wear clothes you love. Wear what you love what you wear. Okay, this is my favorite jacket. And I love this jacket so much that when it went on sale and it kept going down half price, a third price, you know, I think I got all the way down to 25% of the original price. I actually bought 2 or 3 of these because it's light yellow. It's not going to last long, right? It's not going to take much to stain it, but it's a year-round fabric. And so because the color's light, it's like bringing sunshine into the room when you wear it. Okay, so light colors, be a little careful with those. But anyway, getting back to what we were talking about, do I like it and do I wear it? You have to use those. Now you've got to break those clothes up into 4 categories so you know what you're going to do with these clothes. So here's your 4 categories. Finders, keepers, losers, weepers. Easy to remember, right? Okay, so let's talk about the finders. The finders are the things in your closet you say, I would wear that thing if only, and this is the key thing, if you say the words if only I could find a way to lose 10 pounds. Been there? How about, I would wear this if only I had something that went with it. That's very typical. So you're going to go through and you're going to have some of these if only. So, and sometimes it's I would wear this if only I had a chance to get it hemmed, or if only I had a chance to get it dry cleaned. Those are some of your typical if onlys. The second pile, your keeper pile, is that 20% we talked about last night that you wear 80% of the time. These are the things you love that you wear all the time. So you'll know those right away when you see them. Losers obviously are anything that makes you feel like a loser. Okay, like those pants that have been just a little bit too small for the last 2 years, right? Or how about the pants that the crotch doesn't meet your anatomical crotch? Have you ever had something like that? Very uncomfortable. And it goes back to those uns we talked about last night. Anything that's unattractive, uncomfortable, anybody remember the other one? Unattractive, uncomfortable, and no, that's close. That was the inner closet. Somebody got that part. I do this speech all the time. Anyway, go back and look at your notes from last night. It's on it. All right, last one is weepers. What was it? Unwearable. Thank you. It was those pants I showed, right? Okay. All right, so back to the last category is weepers. Finders, keepers, losers, weepers. Weepers are the things you can't bear to part with. They are your sentimentally attached pieces. They're the sweater that your grandma gave you. It might be the Pendleton suit that you paid a lot of money for years ago, and it's a classic. It's bound to come back in, right? And you just can't bear to let go of it because you spent too much money on that piece. So weepers are the things that are hard for you to pull away from, that you just don't want to get rid of them, or you keep thinking, well, maybe someday I'll be able to wear that. All right, so here's what you're going to do. You're going to take those weepers, first of all, out of your closet. You can stick them in a trunk, put them upstairs, and visit them once a year. Don't put them back in your closet. The other thing I've had people do is I've had them take pictures of their clothing. I had one gal, I did her closet years ago, and she had in her regular wearable clothing closet, she had her graduation gown that she wore that she walked in when she graduated. She had her wedding dress in there. She had her confirmation dress in there, and she had like a baby baptismal gown in her regular closet. So I convinced her to at least you can hang the baptismal gown in a frame in the bedroom if you want to do that. And and it was talking her through, we don't need these things in our closet, because in a closet it's like real estate. It's all about location, location, location. And if you can't find something in your closet, it's frustrating to go in there. So you need to get those pieces out that you're not actually wearing. All right, the next thing was those finders. What are you going to do with those? Well, first thing you want to do is mark a date on your calendar where you are actually going to take care of these things. And so if it's a matter of taking it to the dry cleaner, that'll be the day you take it to the dry cleaner, or the seamstress to get it fixed. Or if you need to lose 5 or 10 pounds, you mark a date 3 months out on the calendar and say, by the time I get to this red circle date, if that does not fit me, it's out of the closet. Okay, you've got to get up to a point where you're going to let go of some of these if-onlys. And then the next one, excuse me, oh, before you get rid of all of those finders, though, let me give you some hope on that. Sometimes if it's a matter of alterations on the piece of clothing, there are things you can do that will make them fit a little bit better without having to pay money to get them altered. One of my favorite things is this thing called an instant button, and I think it's on my resource paper in the back too, but it's instant button. If you go to, I think it's instantbuttonforjeans.com. What it is it's a button that's actually got a grommet on the back that you can put this through. Like if my jeans are a little bit too tight, I can put it over to the left of where the button is, and it goes, it's kind of like a man's tie tack, and this is strong. You can't get this off of here, okay? And so you can move your jean button over one way, or if your jeans are a little too loose at the waist, if you're like me, the thighs are tight and the waist is always loose, you can move it over the other direction and make it a little bit tighter. These are about, I think they're like $15 for a set of 2, which seems expensive, but I found out because I was watching an infomercial and they were saying, oh, we have these new instant buttons that you will want to get because they're going to expand your wardrobe, and you can get 5 of them for $10. But wait, there's always but wait in these commercials, But wait, if you call now, you can get 10 of them for $10. I'm thinking, oh, and I'm paying $15 for these 2. So I bought the buttons. And the first one I took out of the package, they fell right apart. And the next one fell apart again. So you have to be careful. This is quality. The woman who actually made this told me she invented it, and she said right after she invented it, somebody stole her idea and mass-produced it. And she was a stay-at-home mom, and I felt really bad for her. So I'm glad she is actually still doing it. But there's one that's got a longer stem on it for jeans, and one that's got a shorter one on it you can use for regular pants. And I've used them for my guys' jeans and pants too in the family. So these work really well. Okay, so that's just a little fix-it thing that can help you out with that. The next thing is we're getting to the losers. What do you do with those losers? Well, you can recycle them, take them to the consignment store and resell them. You can renovate them. I've taken and changed a dress into a shirt. Okay, so there's ways of repurposing them, might be the way to put it. You can completely retire them, or you can re-gift it. Sometimes you take that scarf, wrap it in a nice box, get one of my scarf DVDs, give them the scarf, give them the DVD, and say, here, have a ball. It's a lot of fun. Just thought I'd throw that in there. Okay, now, when you're done, you got those keepers that got to go back in the closet. How are we going to organize this? Well, let me show you how that closet looked when I got done. When you put your clothes back in the closet, you need to put all your shirts together, all your pants together, all your jackets together, all your dresses together, and all your suits together. No, don't put all your suits together. Take your suits apart. Put the jackets with the jackets and the pants with the pants, because we want to mix it up a little bit, and you are going to discover new outfits in your closet before you start putting together those closet capsules we talked about last night. So when you're doing this, notice this is kind of done by color too. Lightest color goes to darkest color. That makes it much easier to work with in the closet. So keep that in mind as you're putting the clothes together. And one more little trick that will help you, and this is kind of a fun one. If you take your when you clean it out for this season, put your hangers in backwards. So when they're hanging on the hanger, they're hanging like this instead of like this. And then every time when you wear that, you earn the right to turn that hanger around the correct way. At the end of the season, any backwards hangers, you know you didn't wear them, and you'll know what to get rid of next year. Okay, so Just, yeah, it works pretty well. I did that, though, to my husband's closet. Some people just, you shouldn't do that to them. He's one of those people that likes the hangers or stuff doesn't come off the hanger, and he about had a fit. What'd you turn all my hangers backwards for? I said, oh, this is a great system, honey. This works really well. I said, when you're done wearing it, then you flip it around. He says, no, I don't like that. I want them all to stay the same way, just the way. So, it's all different for different people. Anyway, can't force myself on the family. Found that out a long time ago. Okay, we talked last night about capsules. Remember that? And I want to show you a few other wardrobe capsules to get you inspired here. And get your mind thinking along those lines, because sometimes, like I said, 3 capsules in your closet will be a great starting point. But let's think a little more outside the box. How about if you had one outfit for when you go traveling? You get on an airplane, you want something that you know will work when you go. I have the same outfit I wear almost every time I fly. I don't even have to think about what am I going to wear in the airplane. This works. It doesn't get spills on it. If I get too hot, I can undo the layers. I can go in the bathroom, there's no zippers or anything on my pants, so I don't have to worry about any of that. Think about that as being one of your capsules. Another capsule that I have is a workout capsule. Sometimes, your workout gear needs to be one notch up. I usually don't work out in a public place. I have to exercise for my health. I have to exercise 5 to 6 times a week, 30 to 40 minutes a day. So I do a lot of it at home, but if I'm traveling, I need something that looks maybe just a little better than those pants I told you about last night with the holes all the way around the top. So I have one decent workout outfit. Another capsule I have is what I call my fat day outfit. Meet my fat day outfit, okay? This is one of those little shirts that just kind of skims over everything, and then you got the tights that go up underneath it, and the necklaces there, and all that's on one hanger. So when I'm feeling like, okay, I'm not taking as good a care of myself as I should be, I can throw that on, and it looks good. And then the other one that I actually do keep in my closet is one funeral outfit. I know that sounds a little bit morbid, but it's a good idea to have something, so if something comes up in the family, you've got something to wear. Oftentimes people end up buying that at the last minute, or they end up wearing something they really love, and if it's a close family member, oftentimes they won't wear it again after that. So if you just have something in your closet for that purpose, it saves you a lot of stress. And it can happen anytime. My sweet mother-in-law died in a car accident when she was 64 years old. Nobody expected it. It was a total shock. So that kind of sends it all in a tailspin. I'll never forget when we got home, we'd gotten the announcement when we lived in southern Michigan, or excuse me, when we were in Michigan visiting my parents, and we're 8 hours away from Minnesota. And it was just absolutely shocking to get this call saying that my mother-in-law had died. So my husband and I and the kids hightailed it back to Minnesota, and I got back and my father-in-law had already gone through her closet trying to find something to put on her in the casket, and he says, okay, Jill, he says, I found this navy blue dress. It still has the tags on it, so I thought I would dress her in that. And I looked at him, I said, oh. I said, she never told you. He says, told me what? I says, well, years ago when we were going up to go shopping together, because I was one that, she had all sons, so I kind of was her other daughter, and she told me that she wanted to be buried in her nightgown. And he looked at me and said, what? So bless his heart, I said, yeah, I know. She wanted to be buried in a nightgown, and she wanted a sheath over the casket that was like a sheer netting, so people didn't have to see her that close up, which was a blessing, because in a car accident, they don't always do the face up as well. So we went out, and we found a nightgown, him and my husband and his 3 brothers. Actually, the guys came with while we tried to shop for a nightgown for her to wear in the casket. And so they found one they liked, and my father-in-law goes, well, what if they can see through it? And I said, well, if she's my size, I'll go in, I'll try it on. So I tried it on with my bra and stuff. Oh, it's fine. I said, well, just put a bra on her, she's good. He goes, well, we're gonna put hose on her too, those support hose, because she wore those all the time. All I could think of was my mother-in-law being raptured and looking down and going, what on earth? Someday. Okay, so we talked then about how to get those clothes together, and you've got some ideas now for closet wardrobe capsules. Let's move on to the next part, which we talked about minimizing, organizing. Now let's talk about how to prioritize. And this is kind of a fun one to do, because I say you actually have 4 options when you open those closet doors on how you can dress. You can dress for function, fashion, passion, or reaction. Now, dressing for function is the way that most of us operate many hours out of the day, because when you dress for function, it means you need to be able to move around in your clothing. Like, for instance, if you're going to be taking care of children, you're up and down off the floor, moving around, chasing after them all over the place. So the rule on dressing for function is you always dress from the floor up, because happy feet make for a happy day. Think about what you're going to be doing that day in terms of how well your feet are going to hold up. And you will notice today I wore flat-soled boots. In fact, I had another pair of shoes I was going to wear, but they're just a little bit uncomfortable. And I can only wear them. You know what I'm doing now is I'm writing how many hours I can wear each pair of shoes on the bottom of the shoes. Okay, these are 4-hour shoes, and these are 2-hour shoes. And the ones I had on stage last night were 1-hour shoes. So you know now why I'm wearing flat-soled shoes tonight or this afternoon. So when you're dressing for function, you're dressing from the floor up. And another event you might dress for function is if you're going shopping, because you're on your feet, you're moving around. Shopping is exercise. It counts, okay? I always tell people exercise is good, but accessorizing is better. So, but you still have to be able to dress to shop. So when I wanted to give you an example of what not to do. And so this is Sue, and this was Sue's before picture. Now notice we did not choose good shoes for her to shop in here. We're talking high heels and lace-up boots. Imagine what these are like to get off when you're shopping. Then we get up here and we got skinny leg pants. Bad choice for shopping. It takes a lot of work to bend over and pull off each one of those legs of those pants every time you want to try something on. She's got a belt on. She's got a sweater that's buttoned up. She's got a turtleneck underneath that sweater, which is hard to get off. She's got a scarf that's going to keep falling off. She's got a crossbody bag, which seems like it would make sense to shop, but if you're really motoring through, that's another hassle to work with. And she's got dangly earrings on. Now look at her over here. She looks cute, but it's simpler and it's easy. Everything she's got on, she's going to whip that shirt off real easy. She's got no belt on the pants, a little wider leg the pants, shoes that she can slip on and off, and a shoulder bag that's easy to flip back and forth. Does this make sense? So you're dressing for function now, ladies. All right, the next one is dressing for fashion. When you dress for fashion, you got to think in terms of the fact that 2/3 of the time, people focus on the upper 1/3 of your body. Okay, so 2/3 of the time they focus on the upper 1/3 of your body. That means now you're going to dress from the top down. So you need to get the hair right, the earrings right, the necklace right, the makeup right, and the color and the collar nearest to your face right. So when you're dressing for fashion, you want to make sure to keep in mind one thing that, what's his name? John Wesley, who was an evangelist from, I think, 1800s? John Wesley once said, "As to matters of dress, I believe that one should never be the first one into a fashion, nor the last one out of it." That came from behind the pulpit? Yes, ma'am. So it's okay to be in style. It's not a sin, but the key is we don't want to be the first one into it or the last one out of it, and we need to do it with some taste. Now, I love working with color because color is the first thing a person notices about you, and the last thing they remember is the color that you have on. So if you wear colors that are flattering for you, it is amazing how it changes a person's perception of what you look like. In fact, let me give you a quick example. I'm going to ask my gal right up here in the front to come up and help me. And I'm going to pull out a couple of colors and show you how quick you can see the difference. Now, if you're thinking, how do you figure this out? I usually work with natural lighting, so we're a little bit limited here. But, okay, Donna, we're going to put you in white first. So this is Donna in a nice stark white. Now we're going to take Donna and we're going to put her in ivory. Now the ivory gently enhances her features without overpowering what she actually looks like. Now watch when I switch from that back to the other one. See, the white's a little bit like, oh, that's white. Yeah, I can see it right now. Now, is it Jamie? Can I see your name tag right? Julie. Julie, come on up here, Julie. I want to show you something. Don't leave, Donna. I want you here. I'm going to have you take one step over that way. Julie, if I were to do this on her, and I'm going to grab one slightly different white, we're going to put Julie in the ivory. And she knows, like, this does not look good on me. Okay, so here's Julie in ivory, and here's Julie in a soft white. And what's the first thing you notice now? Her hair, right? We were talking last night about matching your hair color. So this looks great, but when Julie goes to the ivory, her skin kind of gets yellow looking. See the difference? Let's do another one. Let's do something that's a little more mind-boggling here so you can see the difference. Because if you couldn't see it on the whites, you're not weird. That's very common. Okay, so now we're going to put Julie in russet. And she's like, no, thank you, honey. I am not wearing that. And then we put her in raspberry. Big difference, right? But if we take these same two colors over here and we put this on Donna, well, Donna doesn't look too bad in the raspberry, but when Donna puts russet on, her hair color and lip color look fabulous. So the right colors and shades can make a big difference. Let's show them one more quick thing here. This is kind of fun too, because jewelry, since you're going to be working with that, will also play a part of this. Here we have Julie in a gold color, and here she is in silver jewelry. Pretty obvious difference, right? Okay, I'm gonna let you sit down, thank you. And Donna, we're gonna put you in the silver jewelry. And now we're gonna switch it over to the gold jewelry. You see the difference there. Thank you, Donna. All right, so with that in mind, if you're sitting there thinking, well, how do I figure all this stuff out? It's okay, I got you covered. I do one-on-one consultation, so if anybody wants help with that, that is something that I do professionally. But I decided when I wrote Out the Door in 15 Minutes that I would put a section in here so that people that wanted to figure out their colors really fast could do it within 15 minutes. So in here, instead of working with 12 categories, which is normally what I work with, I have 3 categories in here. And they're not the same as, remember years ago, winter, spring, summer, autumn. I'm working with only 3 categories, and it's pretty self-explanatory. But I'm going to give one of these away. So let's see, did everybody get a chance to sign this? Oh, I got to go ahead and sign it there. And I tell you what, while she's signing it, I'm going to go by birthdays. Anybody have a birthday in here on April 20th? No? How about February 19th? No. How about November 6th? Boy, I'm just really hitting them good here, aren't I? Okay, how about October 14th? Are you serious? All right, let's go back to March 16th. April 3rd, April 5th, April 6th, April 7th, April 8th, April 9th. I don't believe this. Does anybody have a birthday in this room? Okay, let me try one more.
Birthday yesterday.
Good enough for me. Okay, there you go. Happy birthday. Okay, I will grab this, and I need just a room volunteer here. I'll tell you what, I've got numbers 61 through 100. Okay, so I'm gonna let you hold on that for me. So if I need another one, we're not gonna go through this again, I can tell you that. All right. Okay, so those are ideas for how to do that. Now let me give you some before and afters of how this works. This gal here is a school teacher. Does she look like a school? No. That was the problem. Do you think she got a lot of respect from those kids? No. When we got done with her, she went from this to this. And that was same day before and after picture. Fabulous example. Here's another gal. This was her before picture. This was her after picture. Colors do make a difference. The next one, and I only have 2 minutes to finish up here, so we're going to do this fast, is passion. When you dress for passion, you're dressing from the inside out. That means you are dressing your personality, who you are from the inside out. And I give people personality tests to figure this out. In my first book, Simply Beautiful, which I'm going to give away right now, number 78, Simply Beautiful covers, it's got 2 tests in here to help you figure out what your style is. So if you're sitting there thinking, I don't know what my style is for personality, that's what it is. Who's our winner?
I'm not sure I'm going to pronounce this correctly. Dawanisha Simon?
Oh, good. Here you go. All right. So how do we do this? First of all, figure out, are you more romantic, dramatic, classic, natural? Again, when I do this in a consultation and I'm doing a style consult, I'm going deeper than that. I've got more categories than that, but we're going to keep it simple today. This is a gal who actually is an earthy natural, and this is oftentimes what they like to wear is really comfortable things. I want to show her you could be dressed up and look fabulous at the same time. When we got done with her, she looked like that. And it didn't have to be overly dressed up. We just had to keep maintaining who she really was. So I'm going to teach you how to work with what we call columns and, elevators and encores. This is what I call an elevator outfit. We have the same color on the top as you do on the bottom floor. Okay, so you got beiges and ivories here, and you've got black on black here. And you're going to add to that an encore. And an encore are 3 things in your closet that kind of sort of go together that you can move around the closet. Here's an example. Sometimes you can work them around a color. This is a green encore. Green leather jacket, green necklace, and green scarf. If we could take those 2 pieces, we can move them throughout her closet. She can have 2 completely different looking outfits by moving those pieces in there. And if you need a little more inspiration, here's a dramatic encore. It's got the black scarf and the necklace and the belt. You could wear that with your white linen shirt and your white linen skirt. Okay, you can move it around your closet. Here's another one. This is a natural encore. So here we've got a orange leather coat and scarf and some feather earrings. I can wear that with my brown turtleneck and my brown pair of pants, or my ivory linen shirt and my ivory linen skirt. See how neat it is? It moves out, throughout the closet. Here's a classic example, and I added the sunglasses in there for the fun. And then even some of you might be more romantic. Can you see yourself moving something like that through the seasons and through the different colors in your closet? It will expand what you have without spending a lot of money. The last one is dressing for reaction. So you've got dressing for function from the floor up, dressing for passion from the top down. Dressing for fashion from the top down, dressing for passion from the inside out. What do you think dressing for reaction is? From the outside in. I want you to think about who am I going to be around today and how are my clothing going to affect them. Rule number 1, the stronger the contrast you have on, the more authoritative you appear. So if you need to take control and look like you know what you're talking about, put a very light colored shirt with a dark colored jacket. So that could be black and white, it could be navy and pink, strong contrast. The softer the contrast you have on, the more approachable you appear. 2 light colors together make people feel at ease around you and they're going to want to talk to you. So that's general ideas. If you wear a color like red, it's attractive to the opposite sex. If you wear a color like olive green, that repels the opposite sex. It's good to know, right? Very handy. I would keep that one in mind. If you have a day where you want people to talk to you, to share everything about what's going on in their life with you, wear shades of tan, beige, and very light brown. That will make people want to talk to you. If you want people to leave you alone, and I get this a lot when I'm shopping, I can't talk to people because I have to rush through the stores and I don't have time to make small talk, there is a color combination you can wear that will repel people, gets them away from you. And that color combination is when you take a color like black and you add to it a color like yellow. And what do you get when you put black and yellow together? A bumblebee, exactly. And it's also a caution sign, and it's a school bus, and it's the colors that they use when they want us to say, wake up, pay attention, back off. And so if somebody doesn't know you, these work really well. Now these color combinations work up in this area. If you try to do them like a top piece and a bottom piece, you don't quite get the same effect. I covered a lot on the color psychology in my book, Simply Beautiful. I gave you a whole page of what everything means. But I like to put that out there for you to get you thinking, what am I going to wear and how's it going to affect the people? And I think I have, here's a good example. Here's her before picture. She was a receptionist at a employment agency. And she wanted to move up the corporate ladder. I worked with her, I made her over, and she was so willing. She had a heart of gold, and she says, whatever you want to do, Jill. When we got done, she looked like this. And I found out 6 months later that she had moved into an administrative position. I was so proud of her, and she now runs one of those employment agencies herself. So a fabulous thing. Here's another example. This gal is gorgeous model, beautiful. But if you see her in this, she's got a lot of texture and puffy look. This is very approachable. The more texture and softness you have on, the more approachable you tend to be. If you want people to touch you, wear something that's soft, and you'll have people stroking your arm and patting your back. Have you ever had that experience? If you want them to leave you alone, wear something that's stiff and hard, and they'll stay away from you. Again, you got to know both sides of this. But when we got done, these are very curvy lines, and last night we talked a little bit about working with the body that God gave you. She's a very straight line design person. This did not work. When we put her in these, she looked wonderful. But notice how your perception is entirely different. So there are times when she wants to be approachable that she can go into something with softer lines. I wouldn't recommend the style. But if she needs to be approachable, she can. And if she needs to be authoritative, she can be authoritative as well. So what it comes down to is I want you to learn to wear what you love and love what you wear. And so I know we're out of time, but I want to give you 3 smart shopping tips because I promised that. Number 1, don't buy anything on sale that you would not have paid the full price for to begin with. In other words, love it or leave it, all right? Number 2, don't buy a stuff lower in quality than what you're already accustomed to buying. So stay at the same quality level or bump it up a notch. And how do you do that without spending a lot of money? I'll tell you how. Number 1, when I take somebody shopping, usually TJ Maxx is my first stop. Okay, I buy a lot of things for clients at TJ Maxx and Marshall's. The second thing I do, and if the client's okay with this, is I take you to a consignment store. 80% of the clothes in my closet are from secondhand stores. 80% of them. And those are the things I love to wear because I don't look like everybody else that's walking around. Usually it's something I wouldn't have been able to afford in a regular store, but in a consignment shop, I can buy a step up. Number 3 is consider cost per wearing. Okay, so you got $100 to spend when you're out shopping. You can either buy a nice navy blue blazer that's got some basic lines like what I have on, or you can buy this beautiful sparkly evening dress because it's on the sale rack, and originally it was $300 and now it's only $100. I mean, it is really a good designer Good deal, good deal. So you get them home, you take the dress, you wear it twice. Because you can wear it to that big event, that gala that you had coming up, and well, I guess you can get by with wearing it for maybe an anniversary or something, but after that everybody's seen it, you can't wear it again. That dress cost you $50 each time you wore it. The navy blazer, on the other hand, you can wear on the average at least 100 times, because a navy blazer will usually cross over seasons. You're going to wear it for many years. It's going to be less than $1 each time you wore it, and oftentimes it gets down to pennies because that's something you'll have in your closet for years. So figure in cost per wearing. And let me just see if I had anything else on here. I could just go on, but I'll send you off with one quick scarf trick. How does that sound? You like to know? Okay, so how many of you have a scarf that looks like this? All right. So here's what I want you to do. Gently, and most of you do the loop over technique, don't you? You take it like this, I'm going to put it through here, and I do this. That's pretty easy. We can all do it. Okay, first of all, we're going to kick that up one notch. I'm going to angle the scarf. So don't get the ends even, okay, to get them uneven. So then when you do the loop over, see how it cascades down? Okay, that's your first one, how to tie a scarf in 30 seconds. Your next one is you're going to now drop that to the floor, step on it, and start twisting that scarf. I learned this from twisting my hair. Anybody do that? Oh, it feels so good. And I'm going to twist it to the point where it almost doesn't want to twist anymore, so it's almost ready to start curling. Make a hook out of your finger, hook the middle of the scarf, pick it up, let it go. Twist it through, do that, and you're good to go. Thank you, thank you. Let me do one more, and then I'm going to give a scarf DVD away, because this one I did not get on the scarf DVD. When I got done producing it and having it made, it's 30 ways to tie a scarf in 30 seconds or less. The next week, I learned this after they got produced. This only takes 2 folds and 1 knot. Here's your first fold. I need my assistant back up here, yes. And I'm going to take, after that first fold, I'm going to put a little tail. See those little tails there? I'm going to tie those two ends together in a little tiny knot. And I'm going to have my faithful assistant Taylor here put this on. So I'm going to take that knot, I'm going to tie it, a little tiny knot like that. So there's my second fold. Got that? Pretty easy, right? Now I'm going to go to where the fringe is at. I'm going to open up the fringe. Taylor, I'm going to have you slip your arm in that hole and your other arm in this hole. Whoops. We're going to fluff it around. And she's got this cute little vest. There you go. And we'll show them the back so they can see what we did. You can do this! 30 seconds or less. That's my rule. You shouldn't have to fool around with the scarf longer than 30 seconds. And that's all I have for you, ladies. Thank you for coming.